no, and they're mostly out at sea.
Correct.
Sa may Tawi-Tawi yan, no? Tawi-Tawi, Sulu. Oo. So, kailangan mag-reach out kasi Pilipino sila.
Yes, they
Oo.
are. They are.
Hindi natin pagtabuyan sa ibang bansa. Pilipino
They're
sila.
not. They're not, Madam Senator. And just to share, our unit is in close coordination with the Indonesian consulate in Davao to do a reciprocal processing of persons of Indonesian descent and persons of Filipino descent. So the RSPPU will process persons of Indonesian descent that will result in them being recognized as Indonesians, and our counterpart from Indonesia will also do the same for Filipino descent. There is a province in Indonesia or an area in Indonesia, Madam Senator, I just forget the area where it is, but there is a handful or a number of persons of Filipino descent that have not yet secured their registration, their Filipino registration documents.
Last question and then I have to go to my next hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your patience. Ilan ang stateless persons na sa jurisdiction natin?
Right now, Madam Senator, we don't have any state. Well, the nasama ba the numbers, Your Honor? I will base this, Your Honor, on the 2022 figures coming from the UNHCR report, and that is around 12 to 15,000.
Wow. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor, at risk.
At risk. They are at risk because, I don't know, they're still Filipinos.
They are, Your Honor. They are Filipinos, but because, for example, if you go to a public hospital, you want to avail of certain services covered under PhilHealth,
Yeah.
the very first requirement is, are you a Filipino? They do not have any document to
Awa
prove that.
naman. Sinong ahensya ng gobyerno? Kayo ang dapat mangalaga doon para bigyan sila ng documentation, mag-reach out tayo?
Baka po PSA, madam?
PSA.
Baka po PSA po.
PSA.
PSA, Your Honor, will be the lead agency for that with support coming from us.
Bigyan nyo kami ng memo kung anong dapat gawin.
We will, Madam Senator.
15,000 na Pilipino, nakakasakit.
Kitchan yung mga issue with yung mga Filipinos in Sabah. 'Di ba na pinanganak sila doon pero hindi pa rin sila accepted doon, binalik sila dito. I remember when I went to Zamboanga, may mga ilan cases tayo ganyan in a shelter, ma'am. I remember talking to them, but di na sila marunong magtagalog eh. No? So, but hindi naman sila Malaysian, hindi naman sila pinanganak dito. So, how do we, ano yung ganun na situation?
Tagalog salita nila.
Hindi nga. Kasi,
Mr. Chair, the issue with Sabah is a bit more complicated than the ones involving the other at risk of statelessness, because there is a territorial claim there involved, and the DOJ together with the DFA is closely discussing on how to resolve the issue involving Filipinos in Sabah.
I don't know if you can answer this here or maybe through an executive session, but there are individuals, no, who were deported from Sabah to the Philippines. Anong treatment nila? I remember encountering some of them in Zamboanga City. May shelter tayo doon, Secretary. No, anong treatment? If you can, I know that there is a territorial dispute issue dito, no, but for purposes of addressing those individuals, no, who were deported from Sabah and now in the Philippines, particularly in Zamboanga, ano sila? Filipino sila? Malaysian sila? How do we treat them?
Apologies, Mr. Chair, I would have to look into that particular matter you mentioned about those Filipinos that were deported from Sabah. First time that I have heard of that. But if based on the law alone, if these people can trace their lineage to a Filipino parent under the 1987 Constitution, then they would be considered Filipinos. It's just now a question of whether they have the actual birth registration documents to prove such a fact. Mindful also of this claim, mindful of the claim, Mr. Chair, this birth registration must be issued by a Philippine civil registry. Because if it were to be issued by the foreign civil registry, then that may end up being a recognition of the authority over that foreign entity to register births of Filipinos.
And I won't discuss this in detail, no, but I just want to bring this up to the department, particularly Attorney Chan, who I believe is handling this issue. Pero meron ako na-encounter na ganun. I don't know kung dumadami, I don't know kung kumukonte, but I remember going to a shelter, government-run shelter in Zamboanga and meeting some of those individuals. Ang explanation sa akin nung social worker, they're Filipinos, their parents, but their parents or grandparents are Filipinos who went to Sabah, pinanganak na sila doon, but may mga cases, may mga crackdowns rin doon, binabalik sila dito. Unfortunately, hindi na rin sila marunong magtagalog, no. Yun tingin ko stateless talaga. Ang probably maybe kung anong maybe Malaysian or some hindi ko alam kung anong language sa Sabah, no? But yun talagang stateless kasi pagbalik nila dito wala silang passport, wala silang birth certificate, no? So anyways, but just take a look at that issue.
We will, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
According to the DFA, there are 770,000 Filipinos in Sabah, 550,000 of whom are undocumented as of February 2024. Diba? Kakaawa. Diba? Pero undocumented nga. Oo. Anyway, I leave it at that. I have to go to my hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Senator JV for yielding. Yes, I give my support to the DOJ family and especially and all the agencies need. Marami pang dapat tunuin pero may hearing ako sa kabila. Sige, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lauren. We now recognize Senator JV.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few questions to the agencies that we have supplemented with the additional budget before. But first, I'd like to ask our OIC Secretary Frederick Vida. We just noticed that the Office of the Secretary Proper received 1.525 billion in confidential funds for the current year due to congressional intervention.
Yes.
However, for fiscal year 2026, ano na lang to, it substantially decreased to 364.84. How would this significantly change the confidential fund allocation of OSEC proper?
Well, for purposes, basically, pag tinignan po natin, Your Honor, yung 2026 proposed CF or confidential fund, it's restoring back yung 2024 and 2023. There were confidential activities basically mandated to the past secretary that has basically been already done. So basically, we're restored back to our original confidential fund levels. So kung maapektuhan po, unless may makita po kaming iba, we don't think na it will hamper our operations. We will be able still to fulfill our mandate, Your Honor.
But I understand that's very important. No?
Yes.
It's DOJ is one of the departments or agencies that we allow confidential fund. Kahit na nung height nung controversy about the confidential funds, because it is very essential in your the performance of your
Yes,
duties, no? Lalo na sa mga sa witness protection.
Yes,
Tsaka won't this affect all of this? Hindi naman makaka-apekto ito. Yung drastic yung change, no?
Yeah, I don't think it will, but there are mechanisms to augment and under the existing joint memorandum circular between DBM and the COA. So if need be, we will just make. But for now, we foresee that there will be no change, or we will still be able to fulfill our mandate, Your Honor.
Kasi
Thank you
mga
very much
assets,
for the.
Of course, yung mga assets nyo and lahat
Opo.
are usually charged under this, no, yung mga confidential funds.
Yes,
and
yes.
given your role as the primary force investigator at lahat,
Opo.
kailangan po natin to. Just wanted to
Opo.
make sure kasi medyo
Ang
malaki.
meron lang po kaming request, Your Honor, is the additional request from our Witness Protection Program. It's another 192 million for which was not considered sa HGAB. We requested in the earlier hearings before House, but unfortunately it was not. If that can be placed, we will include that in our
Requests.
request in our endorsement.
199 million for witness protection programs.
Yes. 190.
Anyway, that's the reason why we really
190.
have this
Yes.
committee hearings para
Opo.
po yung mga, there are programs that are really essential but are not approved for some reason by the Department of Budget. Hindi po na-include ng DBM sa NEP, no? So,
Opo. If I may,
in case this will be approved, I hope that this will be treated as a good amendment.
yes.
Lagi ano kami na allergic na kami sa insertion eh. But there are really here in the Senate we're proud yung mga insertion or amendment as we call it are really needed, no? And are institutional, mostly institutional. Sige, we'll take note of that, no? And then our chair is here listening, you know, yung 199 million for witness protection program. With the Bureau of Corrections, siguro si General Katapang, our director. I remember, if I remember it right, during the first budget hearing under Secretary Boying Remulla, one of the major projects dapat yung mega prison natin, no, because of the state of and the situation of the Bilibid now, dapat ito yung galagay sa Mindoro, tama no?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
And then it's supposedly 5 billion pesos, supposedly. Yun na ba yung cost? I think, if I remember right, kasi 2020 to 2023 budget yata yun, 5 billion for the construction of the mega prison facility.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. The request was 6 billion.
6 billion.
And then Senate initially provided 200, but it was never augmented because during the session it was discussed during the plenary that if funds are made available, the remaining balance of about 5 billion plus will be provided.
But you would still, of course, because of given the situation now, yung overcapacity ng congestion, and also yung nandun na rin napakahirap na rin i-maintain ng Bilibid ngayon because it's already surrounded, no? Na yung ang hirap ng tanggalin yung yung mga kalokohan doon dahil nga nandun na rin mismo yung community is there. So do you still of course I'm sure that you will still endorse that kung kayang matuloy to, you would still pursue.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, with the permission of our Secretary, we will request for about 6 billion as planned because this is really needed for us to ensure that the congestion will be addressed in Muntinlupa.
Well, this is I think we really have to act on this because ang sabi nga ang national congestion rate is if correct me if it's 242.32%, no? And Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm and Davao Prison Penal Farm are the most congested with a congestion rate of 617%. Tama ho ba itong mga figures na to?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Nakakalungkot na kasi kung because of these floodgate scandals, given the amounts of projects that were wasted, sayang itong 6 billion kung nasimulan natin kahit konti-konti nagawa na. No, kahit tinapyasan lang natin 'tong mga nilustay ng mga iilan, natapos sana, no? So but we will see. We'll see. Anyway, the president said yung 250 billion will be realigned mostly for ayud mga social programs, no? But we're hoping that it can be used for some infrastructure projects yung talagang mga kailangan talaga. So we'll see. So 6 billion pa, no? And this will be multi-year. Ano po ang what will be the capacity again?
I think we will be able with that amount to close down the minimum or medium medium security compound, which is about 6,000 PDLs, because per capita cost is about that much, to transfer, to relocate and transfer these PDLs to better facilities outside Metro Manila.
Okay, thank you for that information. Kasi naanak ko lang kasi that was 2022 yung unang budget natin dito pagbalik for 2023. Kaya lang, unfortunately, hindi na pursue. Pero nakakapanghinayang lang. If it was just 5-6 billion, wala yun sa katiting ng mga nilustay dito. No?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Ng mga loko dito
Yeah, because you passed a law, RA 11928, which is the Supermax. And it was decided by Senate that, and former Secretary Boying Remulla, to put the Supermax in Mindoro. So that initial amount of 6 billion was really earmarked.
Pero multi-year naman yan, hindi naman natin kaya
Multi-year
lahat.
yan, sir. That's ang total for to put up the Supermax is about 40 billion. So we just jump-start it so that slowly we transfer the maximum security compound to Mindoro.
Okay, thank you, Jar Katapang. I will go to Director Jimmy Santiago. Will take advantage. Judge Jimmy of NBI. Of course, yung pong anti-cybercrime is very important. Very, yan ang kalaban po natin ngayon, online. That's why we want to strengthen or augment yung pong budget. Palakasin po natin anti-cybercrime cooperation. Given the increasing volume and sophistication of online scams, hacking incidents, cyber attacks targeting both government, private institutions, how much is allocated by the agency for its anti-cybercrime operations?
Currently, 5 million lang ang nakaalat na budget, Your Honor. Kaya naghihingi po kami ng additional sana. Apo.
This year to 2025 is only 5 billion that was approved.
Yes, sir. Actually, yung na-grant na sa amin dapat last year ay nabalik po kami sa 2024 budget. Kaya ito po, nanghihingi kami na additional na 460,164,000 para po yun sa aming 4 na projects.
We'll go to the details later, no? So 400 po, 400 for the cybercrime unit.
Kasama na po yun, but ito po ay restoration of hazard duty pay, request for additional allocation for strengthening the national security and intelligence operation. Doon po. Tapos, augmentation ng insurance expenses and construction of an office in Lucena, Your Honor.
Sige, we'll just get the details, no? Pero we're more interested talaga do sa strengthening and improvement ng anti-cybercrime, considering that yearly we have a lot of scams, cyber attacks, and mga online, mga hacking that happens. So we want NBI, PNP cybercrime, of course DICT. Yan yung yan yung the new and clear and present danger kasi online na po halos lahat. So please give us in detail so that we can study and we'll see what we can andito naman ang chair natin so that we can digest and see what we can give, no, to improve the cybercrime division of NBI.
Yes, Your Honor, we will submit one, Your Honor.
So how closely does NBI coordinate with the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center or yung CICC and the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group and other law enforcement agency in its cyber operations? Meron po tayong coordination. Meron pa tayong coordination with other agencies.
Yes, Your Honor. Coordinated naman kami, cybercrime ng PNP. Tapos meron tayo ngayon National Cyber Coordinating Council, sir. Actually, yesterday, nandun lang sila sa office at nag-meet na naman nga kami para ma-strengthen namin ang aming capability, sir.
Okay, tsaka yung yung pong accomplishments of the agency in terms of cybercrime cases successfully filed or prosecuted this year. So at least we will be able to justify yung ating pong augmentation, no? Medyo malaki kasi yung budget nyo. But we would need probably to see the accomplishments, how many cases filed and successfully filed or prosecuted this year. Doon po sa, and the targets for 2026.
Yes, Your Honor, sir. We will comply.
Okay, thank you for that, no? Kasi tayo, ito yung mga hininga natin, matinulungan nating agencies, no? So, that are, that we need to add to improve their programs and projects. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just be here to listen to the other agencies as well. So, good luck to OIC Sec Frederick Vida and the DOJ family. Of course, nice to see some familiar faces. Soljan Dardin, of course, who I've worked with in the housing industry. Nice to see you back in government service, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator JV. I'll continue where Senator JV left off with NBI. Director Santiago, first, it's good to see you. Good that you continued your service to the Filipino people. Lalo na ngayon, kailangan natin ng talagang mga may experience dahil marami tayong hinahabol na corruption sa gobyerno. At maganda rin magkatabi kayo ni General Katapang. May mga nahuli nyo, bigay nyo kaagad sa kanya.
Para mabilis na.
Oo, magkatabi kayo. No? Diba? Sinadya yata ni Secretary yun para mag-usap na kayo kaagad. No? I saw in your budget, Director Santiago, na you requested 6.5 billion, but the ones na ang na-approve lang ay 1.3. No? Medyo malaki yung discrepancy. Can you tell us which ones ang hindi na-approve but you think should be approved and priority?
Ang total po nung hindi na-approve ay 460 million 164,000. Ito po yung binanggit ko na rin po kanina, restoration of hazard and duty pay, request for additional allocation to strengthen our national security and intelligence operation, augmentation of insurance expenses, and construction of our district office in Lucena. So yun po ang kinakailangan namin na hindi po napasama sa budget.
Ito ba in order of priority ito, Director?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Ito po yung talagang kailangan namin na sana po'y matulungan nyo po.
Sige
kami.
po, just submit to us yung in order of priority kasi nakita ko malaki yung cut eh. Almost 4 billion yung not cut, no, hindi na approve ng DBM, no. So and right now narinig ko nga kanina kila Secretary, the NBI is tasked to investigate many of these flood control issues. So importante na mabigyan kayo ng suporta, no, para mabilis yung trabaho, no? Kasi the more support, the faster, more efficient that you can dispense with your work, no? So
Yes,
pasabit
sir.
na lang sa amin yung i-breakdown in order of priority.
Opo, sir.
But at the same time, Director, nakita ko yung unfilled positions na NBI is about 993 positions.
822 na lamang
822 na lang. Oo.
po. Opo, yes, sir.
And ano mga positions to, Director? And bakit mataas ang unfilled?
Yun pong plantilla position namin na allowed kami sa OSSP ay 2,472. Ang filled position na po ay 1,450. Ang unfilled po ay 822 na nga. Pero kami patuloy hong nagre-recruit at nagpo-promote para ma-fill upan itong mga kakulangan na ito.
Bakit po may kahirapan ba sa pagkuha ng tao, kuha ng agents? Ano to, mga agents, mga investigators?
Dahil po dun sa yung nagkaroon ng modernization, na reorganization, medyo napigilan po kami ng DBM para pero ngayon po ginagawa na namin ng paraan at ito nga po, patuloy po ang aming pagre-recruit, lalo na ng mga agents.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully, Director, in the next few months, makita natin may improvement doon sa pagkuha natin ng tao.
Yes, sir.
Kasi importante rin
Yes, Your Honor. Patuloy po ang aming pagre-recruit at po-promote ng mga tao para mapilapan po lahat ito.
Thank you, Director. I'll go to the Office of the Solicitor General, to Soljan Darlene. I saw in a dito sa analysis namin na ang attrition rate ng Soljan mataas, at about 6% annually, meaning there are about 20 lawyers that leave the Soljan office every year, no? So of course ang buhay nyo is nasa lawyers, you know, because being the legal counsel of the government. So how is this hampering the operations of Solgen? And we also saw that there's a 17% vacancy rate, meaning 17% unfilled versus the approved plantilla or approved authorized plantilla positions. So that's about 169 unfilled positions. No? So in other words, part of the reason bakit mataas yung unfilled positions because of the attrition rate. No?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, yung pong unfilled positions would include also administrative positions and not just lawyers. So kung di po ako nagkakamali, parang sa lawyers ay around maybe 30 to 40 lawyers from the plantilla positions. But totoo po na may mga umaalis. The 3-year average attrition rate is a little under 7%. Meron po kaming 30 divisions now, a little over 300 lawyers. On average, each lawyer handles 1,500 cases. Where the OSG...
Each lawyers, 1,500?
Yes,
Kanina,
Mr.
kala ko
Chair.
sa prosecutor, 160 something, napakadami na.
Yes,
Ito is
Mr. Chair.
1,000
500
500?
on average per lawyer. So, kung saan po pumupunta yung mga lawyers, halimbawa ng OSG, may mga nagre-resign, pumupunta po sa judiciary. So maraming public service din, or Bangko Sentral. So siguro po mas nakikita na in terms of benefits or compensation package, mas na-entice. But we continue to strengthen our capacity building kasi isa po yun sa nagiging incentive ng mga lawyers, trainings, we expose them to trainings, and I think just like in the medical field, siguro po yung mga lawyers who are dealing with or who want to practice litigation para pong sa medical field, nothing will beat the experience that is provided by the Philippine General Hospital to the lawyers. Siguro po sa doctors, siguro po sa lawyers, napakagandang practice naman kung gusto nila ng constitutional litigation sa OSG. So pinapalakas po namin yung capacity building. The OSG is also handling arbitration cases. At kasama na rin po dito ang ating ipinanalo sa West Philippine Sea in the arbitral tribunal, na nung una po tayong sumali sa arbitration, we were mostly relying on foreign counsels, and since then we have been including in our budget proposal continuous training for our lawyers to be trained also in arbitration so that we will be less reliant on foreign counsels.
Itong 1,500 per lawyer, 1,500 cases per lawyer, that's humanly impossible already. Parang that's, kung one case per year, maaabot siya 5 years bago
Yes.
matapos to.
Totoo naman po na mga kaso, so ang buhay po ng abogado sa OSG, may mga kaso po kasi na active pa pero malayo rin naman po ang interval. For example, kasi ang hinahandle po ng OSG, for example, sa criminal cases, pag po umakyat na ng Court of Appeals or Supreme Court, so hindi naman po yan, pag sinabing active ay talagang buwan-buwan may nangyayari. So may mga, malayo-layo rin po ang mga interval. Minsan po may season na maraming pleadings na kailangang i-draft. Mayroon naman pong iba na heavy on hearings at meron naman pong iba na medyo malalayo po ang nagiging activity ng cases.
What is the total number of pending cases right now?
Around 450,000 po based on our docket system. 450,000 are active cases.
Because you handle for all for government and all of the instrumentalities of government.
Yes.
No? But not local government, hindi
Not
kasali.
excepting po local government.
Oo.
So ang hindi lang po namin sakop yung sakop po ng OGCC,
GCC,
mga
oo.
GOCCs. So departments, so all their branches, Office of the President, Senate, Congress, government instrumentalities. So except lang po ng LGUs.
Oo. Ganun
So pati
karami.
po state universities,
Okay.
state colleges, hawak din po ng Solgen.
The annulment?
Yes.
Ayaw tanungin ni Senator JV, allergic to sa annulment eh. So, ayaw niya tanungin eh. Siya
Opo, marriage-related cases po ay hawak din po ng Office of the Solgen. So kapag po na may decision sa Regional Trial Court, kung nag-grant po ang annulment or declaration of nullity, so si OSG po ay nagkakaroon ng determination kung ia-appeal pa sa Court of Appeals or hindi po. So, in fact, kung hindi po nagkakamali, siguro baka po mga 20% of our cases are marriage-related.
Ito ko dito, almost 80,000 cases.
Yes, opo.
So out of the 450,000,
So, tama.
80,000 ang annulment
Yes,
cases.
yes. So, Mr. Chair, nung dumating po rin ako sa OSG, so may mga may 30 divisions po kasi kami. So nung pag-ikot ko rin po ng 30 divisions, ibig sabihin po ng division para siyang one division is composed of 10 lawyers and one assistant solgen. So meron pong mga policy ng ibang dating solgen na automatic yung appeal. So basta na, for example, nag-grant yung annulment, talaga pong ina-appeal ka agad. So ngayon po, gawa na rin ng mga recent trend sa mga usapin po ng divorce, kung ano po yung mga liberalized interpretation as well by the Supreme Court, yung mga moves po sa legislature as well. Marami na rin pong mga rulings na iba na rin po ang parang niliberalize po yung rules of evidence on separation. So, ang ginagawa po namin ngayon sa OSG ay magkaroon ng determination ng independent assessment din muna. So, imbis na automatic appeal, mag-assess po kami, naghahanap kami ng mga factors na karapat-dapat lamang na i-appeal. So, gawa na rin po ng limited resources. So, hindi naman po maaaring lahat na lamang ay iaakyat for if we do not also make that independent evaluation.
In other words, hindi na automatic.
Hindi po automatic.
Okay, and in that ratio, how many percent annulment lang? How many percent do you appeal, and how many percent you just kung hindi mo in-appeal din, yung decision ng lower courts will stay?
Will stay na po.
Oo.
So kung halimbawang ginrant po ang annulment, ay that will stay na po.
No, but how many do you bring up to the how
So,
many do you appeal?
So ito po
More or
ay
less lang.
more or
Just,
less.
more or less lang just
So
to
ito
give-
po ay lahat. Ito po ay lahat yung inappeal.
No, but sabi mo in your case, the new policy is you have to review whether the appeal is warranted or not. So how many of those cases do you...
Opo. Mr. Chair, baka hindi ko pa po magkaroon ako ng figure dito dahil I just...
bago lang. Yeah.
Bago lang
yeah,
po.
Yeah. Okay. So that is the new policy.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Alright. Kasi nga medyo, that's another discussion dun sa mga pro-divorce advocates na magastos eh. No?
Opo.
So I think that's a policy that is in line with those who are advocating divorce. No? Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I'll go to OGCC. Sir, how many it's the same, no? How many cases are pending with the OGCC?
Currently, there are 5,966 po. So, our ratio of cases to lawyer is much, much lower than the OSG po.
Okay.
It's only like,
Ano bang anong ratio po? And then OGCC handles the cases of all GOCCs, no?
yes po.
Oo.
Yes po. Ang caseload po namin is 95 cases lang per lawyer.
Okay.
And some of those cases are already submitted for decision. Ganun po.
And how many cases are pending with OGCC right
We
now?
have right now 5,966 po.
Yeah. Any important cases that currently OGCC is handling right now? May mga notable cases ba?
Well, we have
Other
the-
than the normal, 'di ba? May mga normal mga labor cases, but yung mga notable, meron bang hinahawakan ngayon na of national significance?
Well, the cases of the water districts po, Senator.
Okay. Yeah. So naka
We are,
ano na yan, nasa inyo na.
yes
no?
po. We are
Okay.
representing, one water district has filed the case. This is Metro San Fernando, La Union Water District.
And what's the in the past few years, ano ang success rate ng cases ng OGCC? Ito ba, going back, yung sa San Fernando is the San Fernando Water District filed the case, or it was
It was,
a consumer filed against
no,
them?
no, sir. It was Prime Water that filed the case.
Against them.
Yes.
Okay, so and you're representing the water district.
Yes, Senator. Yes
Oo.
po.
So you're representing all water districts.
That's correct po.
Marami rin yun, ha?
That's over like 300.
Oo, marami yun. Oo. Okay.
Ang success rate, I think for this year po, cases decided with finality were 133 cases. We won 95, so that's like a success rate of 71%.
71%. And there's also recoveries, no, of amounts.
Yes.
How much is the recoveries of amounts?
I don't have that number currently.
Dito sa notes ko, 101 billion recoveries
Yes po,
Tama ba?
101 billion.
from 2022 to 2025. OGCC generate 101 billion in terms of recoveries
Yes.
from legal from all the cases. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Tama ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So malaki rin ang nare-recover ng OGCC in behalf of the government.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll go to LRE. I have some. May I know the computerization, the digitalization efforts of LRA kasi yan ang isa sa pinaka-importanteng aspeto ng LRA, no? Yung digitalization of documents also retrieval of documents. So may I know the status of the digitalization efforts of LRA?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. The LRA has is currently undergoing po yung full digitalization. No? Our digitalization efforts started as early as 2009, no? But it was under a BOT scheme po. And the contract is set to expire in October next year. Opo. Currently, we have received po a PPP unsolicited proposal on the digitalization of the titling process po. Ano? We are set to implement, hopefully, by next year, a fully digital title po that will integrate a blockchain technology, GIS, and artificial intelligence po. So we are currently po reviewing yung unsolicited proposal.
How come hindi nyo itinuloy na lang yung existing na BOT?
Magsiset po, the contract will expire po by October next year po.
But I just want to inquire, itong existing ninyo, how is it performing? Kasi kung maganda naman, bakit you're looking for a new technology partner?
The unsolicited proposal came from the same group rin po. Opo.
So this is going to be a much more sophisticated technology kasi blockchain na siya.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So it's the same group, but they're upgrading their technology.
Opo. Sir, incidentally po pala, the original group, nagkaroon po ito ng divestment po eh. So, different ano rin ho to. It's a different set of owners po right now from the original proponent po.
Who is the original proponent?
I believe po, it was the group of Mayor Kembao po. Stratcom po.
Stratcom.
Oho.
Okay, Stratcom. Okay.
And then nag-divest po siya, I think when he ran as a public officer, nag-divest po siya. So it's a different group po altogether.
Okay. And then, but the same company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, actually, ang LRA is almost self-sufficient. You generate close to about 18 billion in revenues.
Last year po, we contributed to the National Treasury 12 billion po.
12 billion.
Opo.
Okay. But what's the total revenue that LRA collects?
Under the BOT agreement po, separate po kasi yung payment sa IT po.
Oh.
So,
Itong 8 billion, 18 billion,
baka kasama
kinokollect
po
ninyo?
yung remittance po sa Lares po, dun sa IT provider.
so yung 8, pero tama, 18.
Accurate ba yan?
Tama ba? Dito sa records
We'll
natin,
have to
18.
verify po, Mr. Chair.
So 18 billion yung collection sa government, ang binabayad sa government, and then 12 billion ang riniremit nyo sa treasury.
That po, we are sure when it comes to the 12 billion remittance to the National Treasury.
Oo.
But I have to check po when it comes
Walang
to the...
nare-retain sa inyo?
There's a special provision po under PD 1529 which allows us to retain 20%. But so far po, 8% pa lang ang maximum na naibigay ho sa amin. 8%? 2024, 2025? I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. We were given at least 15% by the DBM po out of the 20% retention of fund.
I stand corrected, hindi pala, my staff just flagged me, hindi pala tama yung 18.3, it's 12.3.
Opo,
Tama.
12 po.
And then you...
That's accurate, sir.
Okay, ito yung rinimit nyo. So malaki rin ang revenue generation ng LRA.
Yes, sir. Outside of the DOF family po, I think we are the second largest contributor po.
Yeah, it's a major revenue driver. And then, Pero I read in a COA report that merong mga unremitted amounts from 2022 to 2024, about 1.7 billion. Tama ba ito? Wala na ito. Wala na. Okay. Sorry, my staff just flagged me. The amounts are hindi tama pala. No? Just disregard that question. Hindi tama yung numbers na binigay sa akin. So with this new technology, I'm interested to learn, aside from blockchain, kasi blockchain is supposed to be hindi siya ma-hack, no? At
Opo, opo.
hindi ma-change yung mga documents.
Opo.
But how is it going to improve the experience of our yung mga pumupunta sa inyo na mga kumukuha ng titles, nakikipag-transact sa inyo? How is it going to improve service to our constituents?
Hopefully, with the full digitalization po, Mr. Chair, it will help increase efficiencies also. And also, much of the delay ho kasi sometimes is with regard to the verification of some of the documents po. With a fully digital system, hopefully, we will be fully efficient na rin po.
Yan ang goal, talagang full digital
Yes,
system
sir.
na.
We intend to have a digital title that will hopefully do away with the paper
Physical.
title. Opo, opo.
So that's the goal. Kailan mangyayari yan?
Well, I'm looking at a 10-year period po because
Tagal naman, 10 years pa.
even po if we get to prepare the digital title itself, there are other dependencies po, there are other agencies that are not yet prepared to link with us now. But we're hoping that within a certain period, we can be able to achieve a fully digital title. And at the same time po, there is the reluctance of the population.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
especially in the countryside, they would rather prefer a physical title
totoo rin
na
yan.
hawak po nila.
Hindi pa tayo masyadong, parang ano yan diba? Yung transaction with the bank. Some constituents still prefer to go to the bank, talk to talk to a teller, may passbook pa siya.
Opo.
Takes time. But I think that's a good step forward because everything now is digital
Opo, sir. Sir, even if we look at the e-commerce law was passed in 2000. Matagal na po binigay yung background sa mga electronic transactions pero ngayon pa lang ho nagpipick up. So, more or less on that basis, I'm thinking of a 10-year period po or more for the full acceptance of the population. But kami po mismo, we will be prepared po.
How about outside of that digital titles? What improvements are you introducing to the delivery of service to our constituents?
Opo. Currently po, we are hopefully by the year end, our agency will be prepared to accept cashless transactions na rin po to make it easier. Kasi we are not yet capable of accepting cashless payments. No? But currently, we are discussing with Land Bank and DBP kung sino po sa kanila ang makapag-provide sa amin ng facility for cashless transactions, and this will surely contribute to the ease of doing business po.
All right, thank you. Thank you to LRA. I'll go to PCGG, to Chairperson Sadang. Chairperson, what are the notable achievements of PCGG in the last, maybe last 2 years?
40 years.
Yeah.
Well,
2-3 years?
Just to give a larger context, Mr. Chairman, for the past 40 years, the PCGG has recovered 280 billion pesos worth of assets and still trying to recover at least 68 billion worth of assets. And these are the subject of 71 cases that are pending before the Sandigan Bayan, half of them, and then the other half is with the appellate courts. Now, for the past 2 years, or I can even go back up to 2022, Your Honor, the PCDG was able to recover 7 billion pesos worth. So, That is the achievement of the PCGG, Your Honor, for the past 3 years.
Or in terms of cash, itong 7 million, 7 billion?
And
Tama ba ho,
just for
Chairman?
this year, Mr. Chairman, just for this year, we were able to remit 1.3 billion pesos.
But you said in the last 2 years, 7 billion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Malaki rin, ha?
Malaki rin po.
Malaki,
Malaki rin po.
That's,
These are, yeah.
that's a good amount to fund a lot of our
Yes.
requirements. Narinig nyo naman, daming requirements.
Opo,
no?
opo. And we achieved this, Your Honor, on a very small budget. On the average, it's only 165 million a year. And we were able to remit that much amount to the National Treasury, Your Honor.
Oo. Yeah. And I noted also that PCGG has also consistently utilized its budget. no?
Yes,
so
Your Honor.
in other words, sulit
Tama po.
yung binibigay sa PCGG
opo.
kasi in the last
Opo.
7 billion ang na-remit to
Yes,
government
opo.
coffers.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you said you're also looking at recovering 68
Yes, billion pesos worth
okay.
of assets.
And then you're also managing 68 active cases.
71 active
71
cases,
active cases.
Your Honor.
All right. Okay. And what's the projection? How much are we still looking to recover in 2026? Realistically.
I cannot cite a specific figure, Your Honor, because this involves cases and we do not know how these cases and when these cases will be decided, Your Honor.
All right.
Oo. But just this year alone, we were able to win a case. The PCGG was able to recover 100 million pesos worth.
1.3 billion, you said 1.3?
For this year, Your Honor, as of this time, we were able to remit 1.3 billion
1.3
to
billion.
the Treasury.
All right. Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah.
To Parole and Probation Administration.
Yes, Mr. Senator.
Any ano po yung mga notable accomplishments po natin, sir?
Meron po kaming request for the restoration of 48,600,000 for the next year's budget to hire 150 persons contract of service. Ito po ay para sa case decongestion assistance namin. For this year po, meron na kaming 250,000 individuals under investigation and supervision. 67% of those are drug-related crimes. Ang workload capacity po ng isang probation officer namin ay 1:400 cases. So to decongest our load, mag-hire po kami ng 150 contract of service next year. Ang total po namin along with the Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy ay 74.275 million.
To contract of service ang ano nyo hindi...
They will do only decongest the files. Ganun po. To lighten the workload of the probation officers. Ito pong mga individuals na ito, they will remain in the office and yun lang paperwork ang mga kanilang gagawin. They will increase the disposition of investigation cases and ipatutupad po namin ang speedy and compassionate justice, Your Honor.
Ngayon, ilan po ang individuals na nasa loob po ng inyong yung minamanage ninyo?
Kami po ay non-custodial in nature. For this year alone, ang savings po namin for the national government ay 4.530 billion. And we are a 49-year-old agency. From the time we were born in 1978, we have saved the national government 27.215 billion pesos.
But how many clients are you managing right now?
For this year, napapasok po 250,000.
250,000 ang
Apo.
papasok
And being processed
in being processed.
with us, investigation and supervision.
Okay.
All of these individuals are court-designated individuals, persons.
Okay. And then, but in a yan ba ang average nyo? 250,000 every year? Ang,
Kasi po tumaas ang workload namin due to the plea bargaining of drug cases. Noon pong dati, mga 65-80,000 lang. Pero po nung bumuhos ng plea bargaining agreement, napunta po sa amin lahat ng trabaho.
Actually, Secretary, yan ang isang dapat tignan yung plea bargaining policy because ako kausap ko yung mga kapitan namin almost every weekend when I go home to Valenzuela at common na naririnig ko especially on drug cases yan, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Admin? Ay pag may nahuli magpi-plea bargain tapos makakawala ulit, no? Pero maraming recalcitrant, so mahuhuli recidivist or marami pabalik-balik lang, no?
Sa parole and probation po, one time only lang.
Yeah, one time. Pero I understand because hindi yata digital. So may mga cases na galing sa ibang city o ibang LGU, mahuhuli doon, tapos lilipat sa ibang LGU, mahuli doon, mapi-plea bargain siya, pupunta naman sa ibang LGU, pi-plea bargain siya.
Meron pong kasong gano'n.
May mga ganun akong nakukuhang information
Apa.
from the ground, from the ground.
Meron pong gano'n.
Oo, dahil hindi digitalized ang courts natin, no?
Yes, sir.
So it frustrates the punong barangays kasi sila yung 'di ba, sila yung in charge of order, no? So it frustrates. And ganun ba naririnig nyo, admin, na common feedback?
Yes, Mr. Senator, ang iniintay na lang po namin ay yung NJIS. It is the computer service that will link us with the Bucor, with the police, with the NBI, and the courts.
Yeah.
It will be turned on soon.
Okay, and that will limit the plea bargain
Because-
loophole. I'll call it loophole.
Apo,
Loophole.
because when you type a name, Juan de la Cruz, makikita mo na may prior service, merong warrant of arrest. It's all integrated.
Ngayon, hindi pa ganun?
Hindi pa po fully activated.
So kung for an individual na huli, nag-plea bargain, papasok yun sa inyo, di ba? In your...
Papasok po siya muna sa court system. The court usually has a computer system na kadikit sa database. So when the name Juan de la Cruz appears twice, then that's a red flag.
But if they go to another LGU, yun ang nagiging issue yata eh. Yun ang naririnig ko
Maybe they use a different name.
Or
because-
use a different name.
Apa.
Oo, or use a different name. Or a different middle name.
Apa.
Diba?
Or
Maglagay
hindi nagbibigay ng middle name.
Oo, diba? And then when they apply for plea bargain, pupunta na sa inyo for
Yes, sir.
parole. Kayo
Yes,
na
sir.
magma-manage ng client, no?
Apa.
Yeah. And then you said lumaki siya because of the plea bargain.
Because of the plea bargaining.
How much of that 250 is due to plea bargain? More or less lang, more or less.
60% po ay plea bargain.
60%, no? Ganong kalaki eh. Kaya, but the problem is a lot of our punong barangays na na-frustrate sila eh. Nawawalan sila ng gana because yun na nga, lalabas ulit, makikita na naman nila ulit, no? So with that digital system, mai-eliminate na yung ganitong mga paulit-ulit lang. Sir, can you kasi
Mga physical na papel ay madi-decongest pa.
oo. Meron bang
Anong
biometrics yan? Meron bang, does it include, kahit napalitan nila yung name nila o lagyan ng middle name or lagyan ng junior?
Our regions began the QR code in reporting to the probation officer. It started in Mindanao, in Tawi-Tawi and Zamboanga.
But yung QR code is just for document tracking.
Apa,
But yung biometrics, let's say fingerprint or...
ginamit po nila rin yan during the pandemic for reportorial purposes. Kasi sila ay naka-online.
But this is something that Secretary, take a look at it, no? Kasi naaabuso siya eh. Na maganda yung intention, ha? Para rin hindi para ma-decongest in jails natin, para rin you give people a chance, kaso lang naaabuso siya.
Chair,
Yeah.
it's basically the plea bargaining is may ano ho yan sa court order. So we'll raise this before the